Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm just going to go through all of my 300 plus PS2 games. I say all, not all, probably like 60 of them, because otherwise we'd be here for about 3 or 4 hours. There's like some of them. The rest are in front. The ones I'm going to talk about are all in front of me because of easy access, and I can just go, what game? Fun stuff. Let's just get straight into it, and I'm just gonna pull a few out of the hat and see what happens. The first games I'm going to be talking about today are the Sims series. Probably the most influential games I've had in my life when it comes down to music taste and just overall kind of what I look for in games to a certain extent. I did not play this one first on PS2. I played this one on my family PC when I was a kid and barely ever played it, so don't have really many memories of it. But it was a lot of fun, and it's still to this day very simple, but the simplicity of it makes it what still is fun. I'd argue it's more fun than Sims 4, to be fair, just because, I don't know, if you go to base game Sims 4 and then you play The Sims, it's pretty much the same thing, other than the motions. But yeah, there's more wacky stuff in these games as well, I've realised over the years. So that's one. Sims Busting Out I think is very similar. I don't know why the one really cool memory I always have of this one is the fact you just, between going to districts, you go on a moped. And that used to be really funny to me. I don't know why. As a kid you just remember the weird shit. This one is a lot more close to my heart than some of the others. And that is The Sims 2 on console, because I've never played The Sims 2 on PC. This was the only port I've ever played. Well, this is the only console one I've ever played properly. I've played a few of the handheld ones. I'm pretty sure I played The Sims 2 on DS. Do not remember that one at all, but this one, the one detail I always remember and always find really enjoyable about this one, because it's different, is the fact that instead of moving the plumb bob around with your controller and selecting things, you just move your character around like it's a third person open world type of thing. But it's about RPG, but it's a lot of fun. The thing with this one as well is that there's like storylines for everyone in the world. So when you go to different districts, you end up, like, the whole point of the game really is to, like, you have your own sim and you progress through jobs, and you have to gain skills and live your life and do whatever you want, really. But then there's like the alternate things as where you can switch between other sims and do their tasks for them and do objectives, and which requires getting their skills up and stuff, which is kind of different because you haven't created those sims. These days you create a sim and you create sims and you go between each sim that you've created. This one, you go through the game sims that are the NPCs that are playable characters actually, which is kind of fun and kind of unique to this game. But there's another game that does it very differently, but it's still a feature in it. But this is one of my most beloved games as well. And then you have the Sims 2 spin-offs, which is like Sims 2 Pets literally is just pretty much very similar just to Sims 2, but with pets. I'd actually argue it's a lot more bland than the other one. There's not really much to do, and it is impossible to keep your pets alive. Well, I say alive, like just doing anything. They are always in need of something all of the time, especially if you only have one sim, because it's just impossible to attend to their needs, like most pets, to be fair. And then Castaway, which is probably the weirdest one, because if you create one sim, like the whole story of Castaway is an interesting way. Like you create a sim, or I think it's up to 5 or 6, and then you get in a shipwreck and end up on an island. And if you created like 5 sims, you actually have to go out and find them all. So you have no interactions with them. And if you create someone on your own, you are literally on your own on a desert island. The only form of socializing you have is with monkeys, which you can name, which I find hilarious. The building in it is one of the most frustrating things in the world, so I probably understand why people don't like it as much, but it's so different and kind of unique to the point where I still find it fun to play every now and then. But I think once you've played it for about 2 hours, that's enough for me. I'm good after that. This game right here is the whole reason I have this tattoo. This is my pride and joy, and even though it is not the best game ever, to anybody, probably not, this is my at least top 3 favourite games ever, surprisingly. It depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes it's my favourite. I have to try and take out of onto, but it's my favourite, like, single player game ever, but it's not single player, you can play co-op, so who knows. I don't really know what category to put it in. This is also like The Sims 2 Castaway, where it's so different from the others, to the point where when it came out, it was, because it's advertised as a Sims game, because it's the Herb Sims in the city, people who don't play The Sims weren't really into it, didn't really think about it, because most people, the people who aren't into the game aren't really going to care for it, unless they fancy something different. But it's not really the typical Sims game, so then it put normal Sims players off. So then I think it sold not very well, which is why there's never been a sequel. And I think a lot of the material in this is not in any of the other Sims either, which saddens me a lot, because there's a lot of really quirky stuff in this that is not in any other Sims game. This is like, there's like 9 districts. This is all about socializing, which every Sims is. Like, building isn't really a thing in this game. It's very hard in this game, but all you have to do is you go to different districts. Each district is a different type of clique. You have like motorcycle gang, steampunk, I've drawn blank, like rich people, snobs. You have like gamblers, then you have goths, and then you have like skaters. Very stereotypical type of things, I will say, and probably doesn't go well in today's society, I don't think, but it is so unique and just so fun, and I can't say enough good things about it. And it's like the love of my life, so much so I have it now inked on my body forever, and I'm very, very happy about it, and I have 0 regrets. Mwah. The next games I'm going to talk about is the Need for Speed series. I have a lot more than this. I just picked my 3 most favourite ones, probably of all time, because I don't think any of the new ones are even worth caring about to a certain extent, especially the newest one. It is bad. I think I'll talk about my personal favourite first, which is Underground 2. Just the start of it alone I enjoy, because the green Nissan, which I replicate in every Need for Speed since then, and I always buy just to make that Nissan, and it's just my favourite one. It's the only one I've put probably the most time into, on the PS2 at least. I think newer consoles I put way more time into them, but like this is just more fun. The drifting on this game was so entertaining to me, and just the whole theme, like I haven't felt, Need for Speed doesn't feel like this anymore, which kind of bothers me, because this just felt different and it hits different. I'm just going to shove these over there. This is probably arguably, I'd say the best one for, I think everyone else would agree that this is the best one. That one's my favourite. Need for Speed Underground 2 is my favourite, but this is probably the best one. That car alone is just sexual. I love that car. And I also I'm very nostalgic when in Need for Speed. I always just create old cars from the old games, because the new ones I don't really like too much. Or you'd be the one that just starts creating like Fast and Furious cars, which, I don't know, I don't really care for too much. But yeah, it was just when it was street racing, and it was fun, and there was like just the asshole in it was just an asshole, so you just wanted to beat him, and they just going through the gang, and it's just fun. And then you have Need for Speed Carbon, which I actually think graphically was probably felt like one of the more interesting ones, just because it felt more colourful. I think Most Wanted seemed kind of dull at first for me. Underground 2 I think was quite decent for like colour, but also I just don't know. But this one had the colour scheme on it really intrigued me. And all of the soundtracks on all of them, by the way, are amazing. Lean Back is amazing. I can't remember the one for Need for Speed Most Wanted, but that's really good as well. Soundtrack wise, awesome. As far as driving games go, like arcade driving games, I think you can't get any better than the PS2 Need for Speed series. I don't think you can mention the PS2 without mentioning like iToy. Not that one in particular, because I don't like that one. But I also have, I think, all the iToys, bar, like, don't know whether I have Connect. These are interesting because I don't think, like, the camera being used for gaming's been utilised as much as iToy did. Like, Xbox 360 Connect was woeful, and then since then, like, I don't think any of them are really good, other than maybe, I think VR now has probably surpassed iToy for anything anyway, but like originally this was the original things. This one had the most games on, had the best content, it was funny, just the boxing was fun as hell. Annoying because half the time it doesn't register your punches because either you're too close to the camera or not, but who cares. Table tennis was funny. I still do like the dragon pants guy, I can't remember his name, the dragon, him. To this day, you just have to pull up your shorts, give yourself a camel toe. It's funny, but this is the best one in my opinion. And then of course you have the GTA series. I actually do have all the GTAs on PS2, but yeah, no, I have all of them. I don't think this was the first GTA I played. I think I played them all like around the same time. I like this one. It's again because it was the first third-person open world GTA. So I like GTA 1 and 2, like were both top-down and completely different games to a certain extent. And you had like high scores and stuff on that, on like for destruction and stuff. I'm pretty sure. But this was the first one, and it was a good start. It was ridiculously good. Still fun to play. They're all fun to play. I'm going to keep saying it's still fun to play. Still fun to play. No, they're all fun to play all the time. You can go back to play this, and it's still fun. And then you have now, because you have the definitive edition, you can play these in HD. Vice City, which I can probably quote the starting of this game so easily, and like whenever you just I poke my head out of the gutter for 1 freaking second if they shovel shit, just that whole bit is so fun for me to play every single time. And then my best memory of this, and it will always be my favourite memory because you can have it every single time you play the game, it's just right after the first cutscene is you just, when you spawn in the alleyway, you just get on a moped and then you have Billie Jean blasting down, or you have Self-Control blasting, and you just have the fucking scream of a moped going, it's just fun. And then you mow down someone and then you get police after you. This is generally just the way GTA goes, especially when you're a kid. I know it's like all these GTAs, I never played through the story when I was a kid. I've only done it as an adult. So all these games are like, as a kid, like I probably only did about 3 or 4 missions, and then you just type in cheats, and then you go and mow everyone down, and then you set up like a little corner of the map like the next game I did that all the time. But this one was just, it was actually kind of fun just to drive around because the music in this game was so good. You didn't need to cause chaos because it was just fun driving around. And it's just, yeah, it was so fun. I just wish you could swim in it. Just wish you could swim in it. Then you have arguably also one of the best ones. I mean, they're all, I think from Vice City onwards, they're just, I think there's an argument for all of them being the best GTA. I mean, you can argue which one's the most successful, which one's the most influential, but like, they're all good in their own ways. This one was probably the closest to probably everyone agreeing it was the best at the time until probably GTA 5 came out. But who knows, GTA 6 around the corner, that'll probably take over. This was my favourite one for literally just typing in cheats and causing absolute chaos, which is what I think GTAs are for. Well, back then they were. Just because you had new stuff, bikes. I don't know why. I don't think there was bikes in Vice City. I don't know why. And then just being able to go on a bike straight away in an alleyway. You always spawn in an alleyway in those two GTAs, which is really strange thinking about it. And your flamethrowers, and then you just like you'd spawn at that hospital on the corner, like I think the skate park's like right next to it, or it's like a construction site right next to it, and the motorway's down like right in front of it down, and you used to just like kind of hold fort and just set up like bombs at the front and then flame everything and it would spread. Oh, it was fun. That was just my memories of that. And then you also have like the story missions, and everyone knows the dreaded train mission, which I never actually had a problem with, which is really strange. I didn't actually know that was a thing where people had a problem with the train mission until it was you saw it as a meme, and I'm just like, oh, and I played it a few years ago and still didn't have a problem, and I was very confused, and I was like, maybe it's just a talent I have where I don't really fail at that mission. But then I played GTA 5 and did the follow the damn train fucking thing with Trevor. When you're robbing the train, which is just actually, I hated that one because making that jump really sucked. But this just loads of fun. Plus, again, music in most of these games has probably influenced me in some way or another. A Horse with No Name is one of my favourite songs. And then you have like the two spin-offs, which no one talks about these as much. If anything, to be fair, I don't bet, especially Liberty City, I never see anybody talk about. You don't see gameplay of it. Has a banging theme song, probably like very mafia-esque theme song. It is so good. But it's set in the same as Liberty City, obviously, so it's, if you play GTA 3 then play this, it doesn't hit as much, and the characters aren't really, you don't care for them as much, but it's still a fun game because you're in, it's like Lost and Damned in my opinion, where like, I don't think it's a good DLC, but it can be fun. And then Vice City Stories, which I think is a really good DLC to be fair, and I probably played just as much as Vice City, and I just like how the stories interlock every now and then. You kind of see it. It's a bit like GTA 4 with the DLCs, where you kind of see where each person was at different times during the story, like the bank robbery with Lewis, and it was yeah, they're all fun, man. GTA is so good. And I really hope GTA 6 is just as good. I'm going to talk about a genre of game which you don't see anymore, because when they come out they probably sell really bad and they are not fun. But I don't know why. Me personally, I think they're so much fun that I bought the games. You only ever really see them in arcades, and that is on the rails shooters. And I have Time Crisis, Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 3, Crisis Zone, which is the same one. I didn't realise until like a year or two ago that there was like a Time Crisis 4, 5, I don't know whether there's a 6. I think Crisis Zone might technically be the 6th. I've only ever seen those in arcades. I've never seen them actual physical disc copies. This one came with the gun. I do not have the gun. Used to have the gun when I was a kid. I don't know what. To be fair, I should be able to just order one of those. I haven't played this one as much, but it's still literally the same premise because it's on the rail shooter, and I don't know why it's just duck and cover, and then you just follow the screen. Nothing interesting. You shoot people that are on your screen with your cursor. Hence why, because they're not very detailed, and I don't think they look very good at all. They don't sell right. I remember, I think the Rambo game that came out in like 2013 was an on-rail shooter, and that was horrendous because it was like copy and paste NPCs constantly and bad guys. You shoot the same person in a hat about 50 times in the same 30 seconds. It is crap. Which makes me say like on-rail shooters aren't a thing anymore. Which makes sense unless you go into an arcade, which is all you would. I always play on this. Time Crisis 3. I think we used to have it at the bowling alley where I went as a kid, and I think the cinema when I was a kid. So I used to love this anyway. But then we used to have it at home with the gun. So we used to just play this all the time, and I don't know why. It's just I really like them. I don't know why. I think I'm on my own. This is where I think my needs compared to other gamers is very different, and I'm like, oh, this is a good game, and everyone's just like, it is shit. There's a game coming up that I'm going to talk about that I know is shit, but I really enjoy, and it's not any of these, funny enough. I'm about to show you the best on-rail shooter ever as well. Gunfighter 2. It's a Western shooter. It is, and I'm going to do this. I think in the future I might do like the best gaming music ever. This is top of the list in my opinion. The scores during missions on this game are so fucking good. It's so fun. You get into it straight away. The plot line is cheesy. The voice acting in it isn't very good. The graphics are not that good. Although if you play, I think it's Gunfighter 1. I think it's just the Legend of Jesse James. I think this is the Gunfighter 2, the Revenge of Jesse James. It's on the PS1, the first one, and those are some interesting. It's pretty much the same. It's literally the exact same gameplay, but the graphics are something to behold. As far as the PS1 games goes, like it's still not. I don't think that's that good either. But graphics aren't everything, so. But this is the music. As far as music goes, it's the creme de la creme, and is just fun. For some reason, I always struggle with them though. It took me till an adult to actually finish this game, and even then, like I think I did it with my best friend, and I did it with my brother for years as a kid, and we never got very far. And then I did it with my best friend, and we did it straight away, which made me rethink why I ever played games with my brother, because he was crap at them. He probably won't watch this, it's fine. The Simpsons skateboarding, I think I've seen like a few articles in my life where this is classed as the worst skateboarding game to ever exist, and I agree with them, but I also disagree with them, because I played this when I was a kid, and I didn't really know any better. I didn't play Tony Hawk when I first played this. I do have every single Tony Hawk game though. Yeah, but I still rather play this than Tony Hawk, even though it's so bad. The music in it's kind of fun. The maps are horrible. The objectives are horrible, because it makes you try and get to places that are like, with the way the control scheme is, it's so hard to get to. It's when you're collecting the letters on like the first level alone, it's so hard. And if you miss it on a ramp, you end up going down the whole hill, and then you have to either go all the way around to slowly go up the hill, or you just go, I can go just straight up the hill, and then you literally end up just going backwards every single time, and it takes about half an hour to get back up the hill. I don't understand why I enjoy it, but it's still so fun to me. And I would always question why I find it so fun, because it's not a good game, but it is, because I find it fun, so it's a good game. No such thing as bad games. GTA but Simpsons is what this is, and I think this is the one game on PS2 which, I say one game, there's probably like at least 10 games on PS2 which like, I think everyone would agree they wish maybe another one would come out, or they would like, deserves more love, or loads of love, because this is so good. I like just the first level, and just being Homer Simpson in the first level and just listening to his little voice lines every now and then. It's just funny. And then like the missions themselves, like the levels aren't long, they're all pretty quick, but then it gets to I think once it gets to like the 5th or 6th level, I think once you go back as Bart again, I think that's like the 6th or 7th level, it just becomes, in my opinion, it becomes quite hard, because it's the timestamps you have to, like, with racing, where you have to get from one place to another in like 1 minute 30, and then obviously once you hit each checkpoint you gain time, but like you always hit the checkpoint with 2 seconds left, and you're always like shitting yourself that you're not going to make the next one, and then you crash, and then you hit loads of people, and then you're wanted, and then it's a hit and run, and then you've got the crazy music going with the flashing lights, and it's intense randomly, but it's so much fun. And just walking around collecting coins, kicking bees, it's fun. Always recommend this for everyone who ever wants to play video games and you want to play GTA, but the kid-friendly version that are like, because you know. I'm going to talk about 2 games. One's still a Simpsons game, but it ties into another game. It's Simpsons Road Rage. Also, loads of fun. Also a timestamp game to get into Destiny, dropping people off in a specific time. And I played this before. I played this on, I think, Game Boy Advanced. When I was a kid. Was it Game? Yeah, it was Game Boy Advanced, and I had a lot of fun on it. And I bought it on PS2, and then I realised it was Crazy Taxi. Or have some of the best music in gaming as well, where you literally are just getting people from A to B in the quickest possible time, but like just each journey for each person just seems to be pure chaos, and you just end up smashing through glass, or you just hit other cars constantly, there's cars in the way constantly. It's just, they're really simple games, these PS2 games are so simple, but they're so fun that they just deserve all the fucking love and attention ever. Before I say anything, I'm a massive sports fan, massive sports. I watch football whenever I can. I watch the NBA as much as I can. I subscribe to the NBA pass, so I stay up, because I even live in the UK, I stay up till about 5 in the morning watching West Coast games, and it's torture, and that is the dedication I have to basketball. And then I'm also do the same with wrestling, and wrestling is such a beautiful thing in my life, and I'll always love it. And I also stay up till 5 in the morning to play it, unless it's, to be fair, this year, most of the pay-per-views have been in Europe, so it's been brilliant. I literally, but then I'm usually at work, so I still don't get to fucking watch them. But also, these games, I think, crafted my music taste as well, believe it or not, because all of the songs from these games I still listen to on a regular daily basis, and I've got all of the WWE games on PS2 you can get. I've just picked out my 3 favourites. I think some people might be a bit discouraged because I've got like 07, 08, and then I've got Here Comes the Pain. I can understand people thinking 06 is probably the best SmackDown vs Raw game. I disagree. This was the first ever wrestling game I ever played. I remember buying it. I also remember getting a headache and a migraine just before wanting to play it the same day, going to sleep, waking up 2 hours later and seeing my brother and sister playing it and being very pissed off because I did not get to play this game. Arguably I'd say this one's my favourite wrestling game ever. The newer ones aren't very good. No, tell a lie. 2K ones haven't been good up until the last 2 years, where they're starting to actually figure it out. Like first 2K14, banger. 2K15, good graphics because it was next gen, but no content. And then 16, 17, 18, I think they were alright. 19 was good. 20, which one's 20? Yeah, no, 20 was Roman and Becky on the cover, wasn't it? That was abysmal. Crap game. I probably have the most hours on that game because they didn't release. They took a year off, didn't they? And it was during COVID, so like, I wanted to cry. But they didn't. They can't get them right. But they're getting them right now. Like 2K23 and 24 are both good. 2K22 was decent as well. Tell a lie. The last three have been good, but they still aren't as good as these. These are pure because I think these they lean more into arcade. Now they learn more into wrestling simulation, which I understand why that can be fun, but like I feel like the arcade was what made them fun. I think trying to make a simulation wrestling game just doesn't work as well. I don't know why, but they're kind of swinging more into the arcade bit, kind of now, so it's kind of nice. The one thing I used to hate about this one is stamina, where you have to just stand still and just press I think it was press circle for stamina every now and then, which is why I love 208, because it was pretty much the same game without stamina, but I prefer 07 just because I think it was because it was my first game. I think the roster was more fun to use on 07 as well. 08 had ECW, but it was the watered down crap ECW that no one really cared for. But also, I think that the reason why I like this one so much is that I had Jeff Hardy, and this one I don't think this one did. This one doesn't have Jeff Hardy because I think he was still gone, and then he come back. I know he's on this one because he's also on the back cover. But yeah, I've been watching wrestling since I was a very, very small kid, back in like 2006. So, and I've been a loyal fan ever since, and I still watch every pay-per-view I can. So these are good. And then obviously I think Here Comes the Pain is one of the wackier ones, and probably it just got it right. I just loved like the selling in this game. It's gonna sound strange, the selling in it. Like, would you when like someone took a rock bottom, you just see their whole body convulse, and then when they took a stunner, they did the rock sell where it was they just flip across the ring, and when people did like when you did the F5, they like bounce, and I'm like, you don't really get that. You kind of just do like these days. You do an F5 on the new game, they just go thud, and that's it. I want like full on Dolph Ziggler selling, man. That's why this shit's good, because it's just they also had different game modes. I mean, there's some of the game modes I don't agree with, because I'm pretty sure you have the bra and panty match, which are just crap. No one wants to watch that crap. I actually want to watch wrestling. But then you had like I feel like your contract signing and stuff like that. Back then you had like first blood matches, stuff. Oh, it's so good, so good. I mean, you get these now, but I don't know why they just hit different when they were back then. I feel like some of it's nostalgia. I feel like some of it was just because this was executed better. Then you could just you could climb up the Titantron. The backstage areas were way better. The car park was way better. Everything was interactive. The locker room brawls were way better because everything was interactive. Now you kind of just throw someone at a wall, it makes a thud. You throw them at electrocution box, slightly electrocutes them. You'd throw them at anything, and then something would like shoot off the wall, or like you could pick up a bottle, lob it. Like I think you can do that stuff like that now as much because the throwing is a thing, but. Yeah, they're just so fun. I think arcadey wrestling games is what we need. They're kind of going back into them, which I'm happy about, because I like simulation's great and all, but it was glitchy simulation games that we were getting, and I don't like that. And I really wish they sort the hair out. I don't know why I'm going on a little rant here about wrestling games. I shouldn't. The Harry Potter franchise. I didn't play this one very much. I'm going to go through these a bit quicker because I think I've been here for nearly 40 minutes doing this, and I don't want it to be that long. I feel like it's going to be very long. Really good game. Haven't played it as much as the rest, I have to be honest. But these are when I think most people will argue, especially the first two at least, sorry. Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban. Because it was more like puzzle orientated, and it was kind of, I don't know, again, it wasn't like, they weren't leaning more, the story was there, but it was more about the gameplay. They lean more towards trying to stay to the films in the next few, but then they're a bit random. But like, yeah, as far as like an actual game for a series, I think these were one of the funner ones, because just, yeah, they're really good. And then I think on this one you had the thing with the eye toy. Yeah, oh, it's on the back. Yeah, the eye toy. The eye toy was included, which was a really weird feature, but I actually really enjoyed, because you could do this, sling the I can't remember the name. I'll think of the name at one point. You can sling the things. I can't. Anyway, that was quick. And then you have this one, which was an abomination of a game. I love it. I love to hate it. I still play it because I like putting myself through torture. I don't understand it. As a game, it's not very good. As far as, to be fair, Harry Potter games, I think those two are really good, and then some of them are to be determined. This one is the one that like irks me the most. The whole Forbidden Forest bit at the start with the dragon really annoys me. Like the casting spells have never been so hard in my life. Like literally just doing like Aqua Erupto and trying to put out salamander fires is the most frustrating thing, because Harry, depending on who you be, because you can be Harry, Ron or Hermione, so like it's fun if you play with 3 people, but then you need a multi-tap for that, or if you just do 2 people, but then the NPC, whoever the NPC is, and the computer's the NPC, they do nothing, they just stand in the background off camera for ages, but you can't get past certain levels unless they come to you. It's frustrating as hell. When it works, it's still, I think it's fun, but it is infuriating. And then just moving a tree is painful. Moving a boulder, you just knock out everyone on the way of moving a boulder, and then you just lose jelly beans constantly. Jelly beans drive me mental. Just, it's one of those games where like I love it, but like I hate it. I saw someone try and do a speed run of this, and basically you just end up glitching your way through things just to make it less painful, because if you try and wait for the NPCs to do stuff, you can never do it. Oh, sorry, I went on a little rant, I didn't mean to. I love Harry Potter. I'm about to talk about, in my opinion, the best Harry Potter game until Hogwarts Legacy came out, and that is Order of Phoenix. This is the best Harry Potter game for one reason and one reason only. It is like the best free roaming around Hogwarts. We never had that. I never had that as a kid until this, and then I loved every bit of it. I don't think the graphics have held up amazingly. To be fair, every single time I do go back now, it looks more pixelated than I remember. The dueling in it is very clunky, but then the next game I'll tell you what, I'll talk about both. Half-Blood Prince, they changed it, but what I will say is, as far as before Hogwarts Legacy came out, these were like the only 2 open world like Hogwarts games where you could walk around Hogwarts and feel like a student, or like you were like Harry. The thing was, if you just put these together, I think it's like the perfect the Harry Potter game, because this one had the missions were fun. They're all very different. Like 90% of this game is just just going around Hogwarts, going to the DA members, trying to get them to join the DA, and then you just have to do basically side missions for each one, which is just always kind of fun. And then like in every room, everything's interactive, so you can go cast spells. You can learn new spells, and then when you cast the new spells on like different things in each room, it'll do something, and then you'll get more the room of rewards that Mona Myrtle talks to you about, which is that annoying voice. And then like just the whole like your waypoints in this is the footsteps from the Marauders map that go across, which I think is such a cool thing. I love that bit. But like the exploration in this game is amazing. Up until Hogwarts Legacy came out, this was the best Harry Potter game. And then this one, if Order of Phoenix had the potion making and the dueling that this one had, this would be, together they make the best Harry Potter game. I'm going to stop talking about it because I was about to go on a rant about the shields in that one. Collecting them was painful. And then you have Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup, which is a banger of a game, a really fun game. I've seen recently they've announced I think they're doing Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, which looks very similar to this, and I really hope it's even like remotely close to this, because this is an amazing game. Lots of fun. Very frustrating at times if you play it on a hard difficulty, or play against someone, because it's just a lot of I tackle you, you tackle me, I tackle you, you tackle me. It's quite difficult actually, but it's very arcadey. And like, if you look at the Harry Potter Quidditch Champions like trailer, like the theme looks really similar to this, like cartoony, which I think's a good thing, because I don't really want realistic like Quidditch. Scooby-Doo. The Scooby-Doo games are amazing. I love Scooby-Doo. I'm a massive bias towards Scooby-Doo. I think Unmasked is really good as a platformer. Oh, they're all really good like that anyway. Platformer and puzzle making is fun. Going against different monsters, fun. Good game. This one's really interesting with the book aspect, catching ghosts, and is actually terrifying at times when you can't catch the ghosts and you kind of have to keep going around it, and you're gonna get that shaky thing where you're scared. Like, and you have the costume disguises. That's so funny. It's a really good game. And then you have Night of 100 Frights, where like this just the opening few missions of this are just fun. Like the playground. If you've ever played this game, you just spend the first 30 minutes of your gameplay in the playground collecting all the Scooby snacks, and then getting stuck in the ice ring, or like you're swinging on the tire swing and you can't get the Scooby. Like that is like the first 30 minutes of my gameplay, and then you go through I can't remember. Is it the cemetery, or is it the cemetery? I think it might be cemetery. Where he's on his, I think he's on like a lawnmower or something at one point. Shaggy is. My memory of it's very like bad because I haven't played it recently enough to remember. But like, just as far as the Scooby-Doo games go, those three, they're all really similar for gameplay. Where it comes to like, they're just slightly different. Like this one's got more of a lot more of a puzzle aspect to it, I think. The rest are kind of like stealth at times. Call of Duty. The first one's World at War that I've got here. I've got Finest Hour, Big Red 1, and Call of Duty 3. This one was the first ever Call of Duty game I played. I've also completed it. The campaign is fun as hell. And these two campaigns are amazing. What annoys me is because multiplayer is such a thing, and then like this one everyone still talks about because of zombies. I didn't play zombies on this. I didn't even have this when I was a kid. It was the one I always asked for and I never got, which makes me sad. So I've only ever played this as an adult, so I didn't get the kid memories. But this one was alright. I didn't really like it as much. So I won't really talk about that one. But then these two, the campaigns alone, if you haven't played any of the old Call of Duty, the PS2 Call of Duties, you just go back and just play the campaigns for these, because like Call of Duty 3, like you get you're at camp for a bit for the first 5 minutes, and you just learn how to throw nades, shoot, how the controls are, and then instantly get put into action where you climb over a wall and it's just pure chaos and shooting, and it's war. It's straight up war. This is very similar. You get just straight into the action. It is just a lot of fun to play these campaigns, and no one ever talks about them anymore, and it makes me sad. Brothers in Arms and Medal of Honor. These two games, Road to Hill 30 and Earned in Blood, are also, like Call of Duty 3 and Call of Duty 2, just really fun campaign games that are just like, I don't know why World War 1 and World War 2 are really popular, like to make video games campaigns based off of those events for some reason. Back then, a bit like when we went to World War 2 or Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, like that era is fun to do campaigns on. I just wish they had more of these, like, and it wasn't just Call of Duty these days, because you don't really get much variety. You have the same content coming out here. I just wish they carried on with these. I feel like these died like 13, 14 years ago. And then you also have Medal of Honor, which these two games have probably some of the best opening missions in games. I think hands down this is probably the like top 5 best opening missions, because it's D-Day and it is terrifying to play because you constantly get naded. The only thing you have to shoot at is just blinking lights in all of the towers, which is really hard to shoot at times, and then you have to try and sneak to the right or something. I don't know. You play the game and you'll find it fun. It is just one of the best openings to gaming. And then the ship mission at the start of this is just intense, running through the ship whilst it's sinking, just in battle. Just good games. Destroy All Humans. Originally I keep doing that. My camera's inverted, so I keep forgetting. Destroy All Humans is an amazing game. If you haven't played it, they've brought out the 2 newest ones. I think the Destroy All Humans 2, the newest one's completely different to this one. So I'm pretty sure this is a completely different game. This one I'm pretty sure they're like it's like a bit of a remake, but it's exactly the same. I remember like pretty much exactly the same, just better graphics and like controls and stuff. But yeah, I picked them up on the PS5, PS4, whatever you've got. Extremely fun, exactly what they say. Destroy Humans. You literally are an alien taking over planet Earth. Fun as hell. Then you have Peter Jackson's King Kong. Probably one of the best movie adaptations onto gaming, which is weird because that is a sentence you don't hear very often, because usually they are very bad, but this one is amazing. It is like quite intimidating to play, because I think it's quite dark and gloomy and quite scary at times, because you get attacked by dinosaurs randomly, and it's just, and then you have the missions when you're King Kong, and even they're fun. I think sometimes like when you play as big massive monsters in games, it can be kind of clunky, which kind of, when you go back and play it, if you played other games and you're like, oh, old games clunky, it's slightly clunky, but I still think it holds up actually really well. I think graphically it's really good. It did come out, 2005 I think this came out, I'm gonna guess. And it was really good. I don't know whether it had a next gen port. It might have. When I say next gen, I mean like Xbox 360 and PS3. I'm not too sure, but really good game. And then of course you have Crash Bandicoot. This was the first ever game I played, Wrath of Cortex. Legend of the PlayStation in general. Deserves a lot of love. The new games are good. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's just Crash. Good. Then you have Black. Also, really good game. I first played this because I watched Nerd Cubed. A lot of games I've probably played in my life is because of Nerd Cubed. I have to give a shout out to him because he was my childhood, and I still go back and watch all of his videos from time to time. This one I play because there's like no music tracks whilst you're shooting, and when you shoot a gun, as he says in the video, you are aware you shot a gun. You shoot a shotgun and half a wall comes off. It's brilliant. As far as just a military shooter goes, it's just a lot of fun because it's just a lot of explosions. And then you also have these arcade races, which I forgot about when I was talking about Need for Speed. The Burnout series. I'm sad that Burnout Paradise was the last Burnout. It makes me really sad. I'm glad we have these though. Right. I'm going to be very controversial. Burnout 3 Takedown, I didn't play very much when I was a kid. We didn't have it. I think we borrowed it once and we had it for like a few months, so I remember playing it then. But it is pretty much the exact same. This is the game I grew up. I grew up on Burnout Revenge, which is exactly the same. Like they are very similar games. They both have the destruction part where you try and make as much money as possible by flinging your car off something into loads and making the biggest car accidents possible. And then you have you have the rivals game mode where races. So basically, where your whole thing is just to take out people. And then like the first mission, like it's just smashing into cars is the literally the point of the game. And then you have the actual game, like parts where it is actually like you have the time trials to unlock certain cars and get certain cars. Because like, I remember always doing the hot rod mission where you just literally have to get from A to B at a specific time and then you unlock the car. Stuff like that used to be fun. It's such a good game. They're good games. I'm sad that Paradise was the last one because Paradise was a really good game as well. Sound Damage Overdrive. Love it on PS2. I haven't played this on PS2 for probably like at least 6 or 7 years because on PS4 and Xbox One, the Sound Damage Overdrive HD, I think it's called HD or whatever, came out, and it's pretty much exactly the same game, except for it gives you better graphics and it gives you a bonus level, which I didn't know until like I got towards the end of the game. That was years ago. Super fun. It's it's a battle arena game, so like your players, each person, they all will have like their own special ability, but then it's like you crash into boxes, they give you different weapons, and it's just the first to get I think 300 hit points, 500 hit points, whatever, like game mode you're on. Then you have like, there's a racing one, and then there's a capture the flag one, which is also fun. Yeah, pure chaos fun, extremely funny. The cutscenes on it are ridiculously funny. If you ever unlock cutscenes on this game, just watch the cutscenes. They're hilarious because it's just presented as a show. Because this is all just a show. It's just good. God, I've been going 57 minutes, damn. This is a road trip adventure. This is like a role playing as a car. So this is like, it's actually really interesting how similar these are. I'm going to talk about this one in a minute, quick. Yeah, everybody's a car in this game, and you bump into people and have conversations, and the whole point is to, I think, yeah, you to beat the president in a race, and then you become president. Yeah, this is about as weird as it gets. I've seen a speedrun of this. You can do it in like 12 minutes. It's quite entertaining. You just go basically around each town trying to upgrade your car. You do races in each town to get different to get a better license, and then you race, like I think it's C license, then B license, then A license, and then once you're in A license, usually you work your way up through the towns. You upgrade your car. You can change what car you are. You can change your engine. You can change all of your driving mechanics. It's really fun. For some reason, it's the only thing I'll say is sometimes it can be a bit tedious driving from town to town because the engine noise is the exact same. So once you hit and some of the roads are really straight, so once you hit that top gear, it is just for ages, especially on that one bridge at the start when you're going from like Fiji City, or when you're going from Peach Town to Fiji City. It's just, and at that point you probably have no upgrades or anything as well, so turning takes about an hour to turn the car. So you go to turn onto the bridge and then you end up into the water, but luckily enough you can drive into water in this. Fun. Similar to Cars, the movie tie-in, the story in this game's good. It's slightly different. It's different to the actual film. But like I just used to like doing the piston cup races, and I used to use cheats on this game and just unlock everyone so I could go on to piston, so I could do a piston cup chase and be Doc Hudson. The music in this game is awesome. The driving is actually ridiculously, I think, it's quite cool, because you can just because they take the aspect where if you flick the right analog stick, you can kind of like do bunny hops over people in races. It's so fun. It's such a weird thing to like, and then you could go onto 2 wheels if you wanted to on turnings. Yeah, it's a really fun game, really fun. But for as far as a movie game, it's good. Just one of the things used. Driven to Destruction is also a fun game. This is like a Derby Demolition type of game, like Demolition Derby game. You just smack the shit out of each other with cars. It is literally that dead simple. I think this is called something else in America. A lot of these games are probably called something else. I know there's a game in a minute that's called something else in America. I think Europe has just completely the different names for certain things. No, I don't get it sometimes, but yeah, this is fun. There's a game on this that me and my brother used to play. I can't remember what it was called. It's something to do with chicken. Basically, you play chicken with each other. And usually in real life, it would be like if you're going head to head and just driving at each other, it'd be whoever moves is chicken. And this, you literally have rubber chicken bombs that you fire at the front of your car in a game mode, which is just hilarious to do. And it's whoever loses that like blows up like completely, is their car can't move, wins. Just fun man. I'm actually going to keep to the movie tie-in games, and this, up until recently as well, not kind of recently, is, in my opinion, this is probably the third or second best superhero game ever made. The web slinging in it, as everyone will always say, is the best. I think, is it Ultimate Spider-Man might have the same web slinging, but I don't think the game's as good. But this is, yeah, the music in this is amazing, the missions are amazing, the combat's really good, this web just, this is was the best superhero game ever made. I think up until 2018, when Spider-Man PS4 came out, I think that took it over, because of the story. Still think the web sling is way better on this. And then, I think Spider-Man 2, I don't know whether I'd put those in the same. Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 I'd put the same, because I enjoy both of them equally. I've only played Spider-Man 2 once though, the newest one. The only other superhero game for me that gets that should be even in the conversation with any of the Spider-Man games, whether it's Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2018, sorry, and then Spider-Man 2, the Venom one, is Batman Arkham City, or the Arkham series in general, probably City and Asylum. I don't really, Knight's alright, and then Origins we just don't talk about. Still to this day, I think is top 3 superhero games ever made, and it deserves all the praise, because it's still fun. It's still fun to go back on and play as well. Like, plus that first cutscene, so well done for some reason. The voice acting in it's ridiculous. It's done by Tobey Maguire as well, which I love. I love that. That's a thing, because because even I think in the Harry Potter games, none of them voice any of the characters in the game, so I think that kind of takes away from it. But in this, it actually is Tobey Maguire, which I think is this the one that's really good voice acting? I think Spider-Man 3 is the one that's questionable one. Spider-Man 2, I have all 3. Spider-Man 1 I don't really play. Spider-Man 2 is my favourite, and Spider-Man 3 is really kind of only known for that one thing when you just don't press the button and you die. It's funny. Right. Because I'm a fan of Scooby-Doo, and these are the same people who made Scooby-Doo made Wacky Race. I grew up on Wacky Races and Catch the Pigeon and stuff, so like, but this is like my favourite racing game ever, which is really weird to say. It's just really, it's a bit like you have your Crash Nitro Kart, you have your like Cartoon Network Racing, which I don't have and I really need on the PS2. Very hard to find, cannot find it. Similar to those where like they're super fun. It's just a super fun game, and I can't recommend. It's the best Wacky Races game there is. I think every other one is very hard to play. Like, I think there's one called I've got another one called Wacky Races Mad Motors, which came out like 6 or 7 years after this, and it looks awful. And I don't know graphics on anything, but like this game came out in I think 2001. And the cartoon style of it is so good, but then the cartoon style in that game is so bad. The racing, it's really clunky, turning's horrible, everything's just straight. This is like, the only thing about this is like some of the races, it's very easy to get your car stuck in certain situations, and there are certain, like the Bouldermobile is so horrible to use because they just can't turn a fucking corner. And then like you try and make a shortcut over water and you get stuck because of you can't go over ice caps. It's infuriating, but it's so much fun. And it's Dick Dastardly, and it's easily the best car in the game. Bully. I know it says Knies can them edit. I hate calling it that, but it is Bully. One of my favourite games ever. Easily. I really pray there's a Bully 2 at one point, or just another game where you can be Rockstar, please. Please. It's one of my favourite games ever. You just get to be a kid. It's the most relatable game ever. I mean, more relatable for probably American students and stuff like that, but for as a UK lad, I love this game. Yeah, so that's my collection. I have a lot more. You probably would have seen at one point because I'll probably flash a few images of my whole collection. Yeah, I'm hoping to make it a lot bigger. This PS2 is my full-on passion when it comes to the collection. It's the only console I actually collect any games for. The rest I kind of like, I have games for them, but like the newer ones especially, everything's a lot easier just to have digital. I have like 400 PS5 games, but they're all digital. I have no hard copies, which kind of breaks my heart, but why would you buy hard copies these days? Because it's always good deals online. But yeah, I really hope everyone enjoyed this video. It was my first ever one. I'm trying not to be awkward during it because I'm not really used to being on camera. I've also picked one of the hottest days to do this, so I am boiling. And it's the first ever time I've not been interrupted. So it's brilliant. The moral of the story is I love my PlayStation 2, I love my PS2 games, and hopefully in a few years time I can do another video like this and it will be even bigger. And I could probably, maybe let's just stretch it out for 3 hours or something, and I get to talk about something I love for 3 hours, so I'm not going to complain. Yeah, so I'm going to thank everyone for watching this video, and I'll see you soon. See ya.